A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Everybody can say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim and please silence your phones. Let me silence my own first sounds and haptics. Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillah alhamdulillah nahmadu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiru wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah, Allah has gathered us here. Subhanallah, a reminder for us all that life is fragile and everything is going to end. It's all fani, it's all, nothing is immortal here. Everything is going to go away. We have the news of 2 deaths within the span of 2 weeks, and Fatima's mother-in-law and Fatima's sister-in-law both passed away within 2 weeks of time, which was maybe very tragic for the family, obviously, because within the same family to lose 2 people within such a short time. It's also a reminder when every time we hear of anybody passing away from this world to another world, when we hear of anybody going away who was among us today, and then tomorrow you hear the news that who you spent your time today with is no longer there. And it's very shocking, it's very traumatic sometimes, but we all have to accept that this is how it's going to be. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that the death will approach them when they are least expecting, when they are busy with their worldly life and worldly seeking the world. That's when the angel of death will come and take them away, and they will be shocked. They will not be prepared. So how much ever we think that we know about death, and we know that people are dying, and death is, everybody is going to taste the death. Everybody is going to go through this process of death. Yet we forget. Yet we get very engrossed with dunya, and we forget to prepare for the akhirah, prepare to meet the Rabb, the Creator, our Khalik, our Malik. So once we cross the stage of, I will talk about how we should prepare or what we should do. If I have the time after I finish the points that I brought to tell you, how can we benefit them, or how can we benefit ourselves after our own death? So first, let us talk about how does a deceased benefit. Okay, so I'm just saying, how can a deceased benefit, whether from us or for himself or from herself? Okay, so let's talk about the most prominent hadith about it, where Rasulullah ﷺ said that when a person dies, all his deeds come to complete cutoff. Everything. He's cut off from the world, and he's cut off from all his deeds come to a standstill. It's finished. It's stopped. Okay. So the deeds are closed except for 3. So there is 3 more things that the person can benefit from after his death also. That means there is ongoing deeds that will benefit even after we die. So it is about our own selves. How can we how can we protect and defend ourselves that we can earn even after we die? So there are only 3 things. First is, we all know the hadith, the righteous child who will make dua for you, sadaqah jariyah, and knowledge that benefits the people. So if there is a righteous child, he will pray for you. So you will keep, till he prays for you, you will keep getting the benefit. Sadaqah jariyah comes, so I'll explain all 3 so that you have a full understanding. When I say that a righteous child, why do the hadith say righteous child and not just child. We have children. All of us have children. But all of us don't have righteous children, right? There are children who are not righteous. Parents may be righteous. Children didn't turn out to be righteous. Okay? So that's not going to benefit you in the grave because they are not going to be grateful or honor you after you die. Or children who became righteous when you were not righteous. They became righteous because of some company they had. There are people who I know had a very good company and they became very righteous, but the parents are not righteous. Will that dua benefit the parents? No, because all his good deeds will be benefiting the one who he learned the deen from. The efforts were not made by the parents. So there is a condition here. The righteous child is made righteous because of your efforts. You taught them, or sometimes we are not always there to teach them. Okay, I taught my children. But maybe every woman, like if I say about my sisters or my brothers, maybe they didn't teach. Maybe they sent them to teach. Okay? They sent them to learn deen so they took them, they paid fees for them, they made the effort. They will get the ajr for that. Whatever effort you made to make your child righteous, and then if that child prays for you, that will benefit you even after your death. And every time a child prays for the parent, the angels take that dua to the parent in the grave and says, so and so, actually he's upgraded in the grave. So he asks the angel, why am I being rewarded? From what? Because he's dead. He says, your son, your daughter, your granddaughter, your grandson, whoever, your sister, mother, father, somebody has sent dua for you and it has been accepted and your position has been uplifted. So he feels happy. He comes to know who sent it. So don't think when we are sitting here making duas after our salah or after Quran or after any good deed that we do after this dars, if I'm going to make dua for my father or my brother or my grandfather, grandmother, or anybody, I should not think, will they come to know? Of course, each dua will reach them and they will come to know. So send more duas to the deceased. And when Allah says, do excuse me, I have this cough which is from a long time, so it's not flu or anything, it's not contagious, I just have it. Okay, so when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning a righteous child, a child's child is also your child, and their child is also your child, and their child is also your child. It goes on. So it's not just my son is my child. His son also my children. Their children are also my children because it's going like this. It's a lineage. Okay? Sometimes when I was, not now, some years back, when once I was giving a lecture of this kind, I was thinking, I always feel I'm a sadaqah jariyah for my grandmother because I learned a lot of deen from her. And when she used to say that I will be somebody in the world of deen and whatever she used to say, I used to run away as a child, a naughty child. How would you think, a naughty child, 10-year-old, you try to make them sit and read Quran, they run away, they find excuses to go away. And she would go on telling me, I see something in you I don't see in others, and you will make a name in deen. And I used to think, I don't know why she's always after me. Anyway, she saw in me what nobody else knew, and she was a Hafiza Quran. So anyway, she did some work on me. And I always think, as I grew up, whatever she said, which I did not want to hear or didn't pay attention to, made sense to me. It all came back to me. Roots were very nicely grounded, actually, by her. She did a good work. So I always think I'm a sadaqah jariyah for her. And I make dua for her. I make dua for my nana, nani, dada, dadi, everybody. Will my children make dua for my dada dadi? No. Will they make dua for my nana nani? They don't know them. So the lineage finishes up on me. So what would be mine? Next two generations only? My children and their children. And their children will not know me. So I have a very short span of this sadaqah jariyah. So I have to really work hard to get more. How do I get more? The second point of sadaqah jariyah. And when I say sadaqah jariyah, just giving monetary fund is not, it's not sadaqah jariyah. Jariyah means something that is continued, something jari, continue. Okay. So what is the continuous sadaqah? Of course, we have the example of making a masjid or taking part in making a masjid. Okay, everybody cannot make the whole masjid together, but like all of us can collect and we can all make one masjid. Even if you've given 100 dirham for that masjid, okay, that counts. You have a share in that masjid. Till that masjid is running, till people are praying in that masjid, okay, you get the benefit. Now, I have put a well in a masjid, or I have put taps in the masjid, or I have given fans to the masjid, I have given electricity to the masjid. Till that is giving worshippers a help and aid, it is sadaqah jariyah. Okay? Any such thing. I built an orphanage. I go and build a home for widows to, benefit from, like maybe a stitching house or sewing house or whatever. That is sadaqah jariyah. Till it runs, you get the benefit from it. The third is knowledge that benefits. And knowledge here is the knowledge of deen. The knowledge of deen which you spread, which is beneficial, I have parted this knowledge to you. You will part it to people after you, and then the people after you, and then the people after you. Yes, till this knowledge lasts. In my grave, I get one ajar for everybody who's going to follow that, whatever I have said. Okay? So this is again knowledge that benefits. Now, if you go to see these three things, all these three things are sadaqah jariyah. Children after children after children after children, even if they may not pray for me, but if I have learned from my grandmother, she was a hafiza, I wanted my children to become hafiz and hafiza, I could do it. Okay? And I did it because of that legacy. I also know my father was always praying tahajjud. So when I parted this knowledge to my children, they became tahajjud guzar. So they may not still know what they are doing, but they are following that, and that will give him some ajr. The benefiting knowledge also goes like sadaqah jariyah. So this is something that a person can do himself for his own life after death. For your life in barzakh, these are the three things only you can do to keep earning hasanat. Okay? And what can we do for others? Not for ourselves. What can we do for others? Supposing my father has passed away. I love him. I owe him. Okay? I'm grateful to him. Okay? For whatever a parent does for the child. How do I benefit him? He's no more. I want to do his khidmah. I want to serve him. I want to do something for him. How do I go about? Something that will still reach him. So there are just two things that I can do for him. One is, of course, three things. Again, so one is dua at the janaza and soon after janaza. This is the first thing. Okay, this is what we can do according to the hadith and the sunnah, that at the time of janaza, make a lot of dua for the deceased. That's why in the janaza salah, there are no sujood, because there is a body in front of you. There's no sajda, but there is qiyam. You're doing qiyam, and you're doing takbirat, and between each takbir, there is of course, I'm not going into that detail. Funeral salah is another chapter, but there is a time when you have to make a lot of dua for the deceased, and then you do one salam, and the salah is over. After that, the body goes for burial. When the body goes for burial, as soon as they have buried the body, after that, next 3 days, make lots of dua, because that's the time of answer and questions in the grave. Okay? That's the time the body is answering questions in the grave. That's the time. The 3 days are very crucial. You should not waste time except making lots and lots of dua of istighfar. Istighfar for the deceased. Istighfar for the deceased. Okay? That's all you have to remember. These are the two things that are given. Now, these are the two things which are given, which is dua as the janaza, dua soon after burial, and the dua should be consisting of istighfar. Okay? I'm clear? Now, what can I do for my deceased? Okay? Number one is dua, as I mentioned, at the janaza, after burial, and then always. I should be making it always, right? Every time I make dua for myself, I should be able to remember my father and make dua for him also. My grandfather, my grandmother, whoever I remember, I should make dua for the deceased. Okay, so dua. Second is to make, when I say dua and istighfar separately, because what are the duas we can make? It's not just istighfar. We make dua for the deceased. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the deceased grave illuminated. Make it spacious. Make it a garden for him. Wash his sins as if a white cloth is washed without spot. It should be spotless, without any spot of sin on it. Clean it, cleanse him completely. Okay? Make his marahil easy for him. All the marahil he will be going into, different process that he is going to go through now, make it easy for him. These are the duas. And then make a lot of istighfar, Allah forgive him, forgive his sins. So there are two different duas. One is about his next journey, and one is about his forgiveness. Okay? Third point is to see if the deceased has made any vows, any promises, any debts, fulfill it. Okay? Supposing if the deceased had committed to somebody, I will give you this much, and that person comes, you give it. If the person, even if the person has committed, supposing he owes something is one thing, but supposing he wanted to do something, like supposing I mentioned, okay, to my children that actually I want to, any random thing, okay, I wanted to give a scarf to Suhaila. She's my friend. I'm thinking of buying her a scarf. Just random thing, okay? Now I mentioned it and I died. Then my children should buy a scarf and reach it to her. Okay? And this reminds me, there was a couple who I was very, very close to. He used to consider me like a younger sister. Very affectionate couple. When the brother passed away here in Dubai, it was very sad. But one day, just one night before, I mean, the next morning he passed away. That night I was in the hospital with him. And he said to me that I love your biryani, but first I'll come and take your biryani, but I want you to taste my wife's biryani too. She makes it differently, so you must taste her biryani, although I like your biryani more. So he said to her, when I get well, I'm going to her house to have the biryani, but you have to make biryani and send her because she must taste yours too. And next morning he passed away. After the idda got over, the wife came with the biryani pot to my house. And I had to invite her and made my biryani and gave it to her. This is to fulfill what that man said just before his death. We had to fulfill. We both owed it. Because he mentioned it to me in front of me, I had to give her and she had to give me. Subhanallah. We have to fulfill such promises. Okay. Fourth, what I can do for somebody who passed away, like for instance, my father. When he's passed away, I have to visit his relatives, those who I did not probably visit in my life, but I know that they were dear to him, and he used to visit them. Maybe I did not have that kind of relationship, but they were his relatives and maybe close to him, and we were away or whatever. But now I have to search for them, go and visit them, because he would have visited had he been alive. So we owe this to the people who pass away. And fifth is to be generous with the friends of that person. There is still one of my father's friends here who's not even a Muslim, but I make a visit to him. And honestly, it's very strange. I was wondering, why do we have to visit friends? Now I understand, because every time I visit him, I realize we talk about, what do you talk about when you meet the friends of the people who passed away? What's the common link between me and that Mr. So-and-so, my father? So when we meet, he looks at me and has tears and says, I look at you and think of Mr. Mirza. I tell him, and I look at you, I think of my father, talking to you, laughing with you, joking with you. You used to be such pals, you know. Subhanallah. And we only talk about him. So we are increasing his hasanat. So when we meet friends, between them and us, the common link is the deceased. We will end up talking about the deceased, and we'll end up talking good about the deceased. Okay. And we'll, even if there is some remorse in our heart for, or some rancor in our heart, we will forgive, thinking, oh, he's gone now, let's forgive him. Okay. There are people who've left maybe some bad feelings for some people. Then we'll say, chalo maaf kar do, it's over, gone. This is good for us to do. Okay, this is very good for us to do. So these are the 5 things we can do. Again, I'll repeat: dua separate, istighfar, then fulfilling the covenants, promises, vows, visiting the relatives, and visiting and being generous with the friends. When I say generous, it is to give gifts to them, call them, take something for them, and so on. So very important to give. Now I come to the point of, what is Isale Sawab? We hear the word Isale Sawab. So it's for the Sawab for the deceased. Okay. All this is not from the Sawab of the deceased, by the way. These are the rewards. They're different. Isale Sawab is different. So I'm coming to that now. Okay. Here, the first thing you can do to benefit or Isale Sawab is Sadaqah. I didn't mention this so far. Sadaqah Jariyah is separate. That is the person himself doing it, or you can also do it for them. But here I'm talking about Sadaqah. So supposing if Fatima is given us a bottle of water, and she says in her heart, in her mind, that this bottle of water everybody drinks is a Isale Sawab for these 2 women for whom we are collected here to, do the dhikr today. So then everybody who takes a bottle of water, the Sawab goes to her. Okay. So she gave water on behalf of that person. Okay. Will she get the reward from this? No, she won't. She'll get the reward of doing a good deed, but the water sawab she's already donated to the 2. So whenever you donate something for somebody, you don't get that reward. You don't get that reward. So I'm explaining that because lots of people misunderstand and don't know. I'm going to come in detail about this because it's a very important point. Okay? Like when my brother passed away, and I told people to come for condolence, and I made dinner. I made biryani, I ordered. So everybody said, why are you doing this? I said, it's because it's for my brother. All the thawab will go to him. So everybody please eat nicely, because this dawat is from him. All the ajr goes to him. Everybody who eats from this, all the ajr will go to my brother. Please eat, and the ajr is going to my brother. So I don't get the ajr for that. Okay? All that I spent was for him. Okay, this is how it is. Saad ibn Ibadah, Saad ibn Ibadah Ansari, was a leader uh, of Ansari tribe. Okay, he was one of the leaders of Medina. I don't know how much you people know about the history or the seerah, but Saad bin Ubadah plays a very, very important role. He's a very, very blessed Sahabi. And in his case, he came to Rasulullah Sallallahu and he said his mother passed away when he was away, he was traveling. When he came back, he realized his mother passed away. Now, when you are not there when your mother passes away, there is always a vacuum in your heart. You didn't even get to see or bury her or whatever. He had this desire to do something for his mother. He loved his mother. And his mother was a very nice person. So he went and asked Rasulullah, what shall I do for my mother? I miss her. I couldn't be there for her. I want to do something for her. Now she's gone. I couldn't even help her, serve her. What shall I do? He said, you can give sadaqah. He said, then you be witness. I give my garden. Okay. They used to have gardens in those days where they used to grow their crops and whatever. He said, I give my garden sadaqah for the sake of my mother. And after that, he went home. After some time passed, he came back. He said, I feel I've not done enough. Sometimes the love is so great, or you feel so grateful to the person, your mother or father or whoever. Okay. You feel you owe her more. She was my mother. Just a garden, though it was a big garden and it meant a lot, but he felt it's not enough. I want to do more because garden is like one off. I gave it. It's done. It's over. I don't feel good. I need to do more. So after that, he was advised, you can do waqf. So give some amount in a trust. Waqf, from where the word comes, awqaf. Okay. It's like if I start a waqf today, okay. So it's a trust. So everybody can put money in that trust and it will be helping the poor time to time as and when they need. Qarad Hasana is given and other things. Maybe this village needs water, this village needs hospital, and this is all from Sadaqah Jariyah. This will be used. Okay, and it is nobody's property. It is used for the community without being any one person's property, and that's called the awqaf. Okay, so awqaf is basically Awqafs normally finances the madrasas and the ulama also come out from there. So they are spent on those things which are jariyah. Okay. And this was initiated by our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was the first one to introduce this trust, concept. After that, everybody in the world followed it and we left it aside. And that's why people have these trusts, Red Cross and all this. From where all that? It's our Prophet Sallam's idea. Today they have taken over and doing these trust services where this trust runs and how much ever they are going to help the humanity, the person gets the ajr who has donated in that. So he went and he started the waqf. Okay, this is the Sa'ad bin Ubadah. Then there was another hadith, okay, about a Sahabi who said, I lost my father. Okay. And had he been alive, he would have gone for Hajj this year. But he's no more. So now do I have to go for Hajj in his place? And Rasulullah SAW said, if you know he wanted to go for Hajj, you can do his Hajj or send somebody to do his Hajj. And he saw a man who was saying that I'm going for the Hajj. And he said, this is for so and so. He was doing the niyyah. Rasulullah asked, who is this so and so? He didn't mean to ask, is this so and so your father, uncle, brother. He just said, is that you? Because he said, let this be for me and Shamra. He said, hold on, me and Shamra, who's Shamra? He said, I'm doing this Hajj for me and Shamra. He said, have you done your own Hajj? He said, no. He said, then you can't do for Shamra. First, you have to finish your Hajj. And next year, you can come and do Hajj for Shamra. And when you do Hajj for Shamra, it will be counted for him, not for you. So don't think if you're doing Umrah for somebody, you have done Umrah, it is not counted, it's not written in your account. It's written in that person's account for whom you did it. So people often think, I'm going for Umrah, I'm going to do Umrah for me, my mother, my auntie, my uncle, my nana, nani, everybody. It's not like this, it's not a joke, it's not mithai. It is an Umrah. It's a pilgrimage, one at a time, one in a trip, only one. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did not do 2 Umrahs in any trip. He stayed there for the whole month. He could have done 130 Umrahs. Why he didn't do? Then it will become a game. You can only do 1 Umrah. And if you are going to refer to Aisha radiallahu anha's matter, then if you are going through Aisha's problem, which was periods, and that's why she could not do her Umrah, so she completed her Umrah because she did not perform her own. And when she wanted to complete Umrah, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam could have taken opportunity to go and do another Umrah with the excuse of doing Umrah for the wife. He said, call your brother Abdullah ibn Abi Bakr and ask him to take you for Umrah since I finished mine. He didn't say, chalo, let's go, 1 more Umrah for me. I'll do yours, you can do 1 and I'll do my 2nd. No, you can't. You finished yours. Call your brother, tell him to take you and help you to do the Umrah. I finished mine. 1 Umrah per trip. Either yours or somebody's. Later, don't say, I spent all this money. You think there was no Umrah counted for me? No, because you said you're doing it for your mother. So it is written in your mother's account. In your account, a good deed is mentioned. You did a good deed for your mother. That's all. Umrah is not written for you. That's written for the mother. You did it for her. You didn't do it for yourself. And you can't do it for both. You know, if I'm going to eat food and say it's for me and my mother cannot stop feeling hungry because I ate the full plate of biryani. No, she's going to be still hungry. Right? You can only do for one. All these things are to make it clear. And such moments when we hear of a death, this is the time all these questions arise. And I wanted to answer them rather than to give you an emotional dars and not give you information. This is the information we need. What should we do now? What am I supposed to do now? I've lost my father, I've lost my brother. What am I supposed to do now? Okay. So the hadith about the Hajj Badal. Now the question comes, do we have to do Hajj Badal for those who have already done Hajj in their lifetime? No need, because they've already done Hajj. Hajj is only once in your lifetime, which is fard. The rest is all nafal. And you don't need to do nafal because it's not fard, so it is not something mandatory, obligation. So there's no obligation. Secondly, often people say, I'm fasting for so-and-so. You can fast for so-and-so. You have to understand the right concept. So I'll come to explain to you. When I was going for a major surgery in whatever year it was, 2003 or whatever, obviously I was much younger and fitter, but I was going for a major surgery where they said I may not live, I may live. They were not sure whether something can happen. And I had some 5 or 6 fasts left. You know, women, when they have periods and their fasts are left of the missed fasting, and sometimes you don't get to finish it. This was soon after Ramadan. I was going for the surgery. So if I had missed, I could not have had the time to keep. There was no time, because 3rd day of the, second day of Eid, I was hospitalized. So there was no time after Ramadan to finish my fasting. So I mentioned it to my children, and I'm just going to make it very light for you people when I was mentioning it to my children that, look, you people are my children. I'm mentioning to you that I have 5 fasts left. So they were all eating quietly, not even looking and acknowledging. I said, did you hear what I'm saying? They're all looking at each other without looking up. And I said, did you hear what I'm saying? So they said, whoever heard must keep, okay? I don't know, I didn't hear it. Look at them. Because when you know your mother or your father intended to keep the fast and they died, then you have to fulfill those fasts. Because that comes under obligation. Just like I said, if somebody said they wanted to give some gift to somebody, whether it's biryani or scarf or biscuit or cake, you have to do it. Same way goes for fasting. Same way goes for Hajj and Umrah. If they have set the intention, okay, then you fulfill it. And this was my missed fasting. So I had to tell them, look, I don't care who keeps it, but you've all heard it. Better keep it. I don't care whether you're hearing it or not. I've said it. Because, and I said, come on, it's just 5 fasting. What is this? But none of them was just trying to tease me, but I know. This is because they also knew this is the way it is done. So you can't say every year I'm going to fast for my mother or my father. So what about your own fasting? How will you do your own fasting? No, not possible. Because it won't count for you then. Remember, what you do for others is not counted for you because you said you're doing it for the other person. So it won't count for you. This is why you must remember there is fasting, badal is there, Hajj badal is there, Umrah badal is there, and how the conditions I've explained it to you. Okay. Then comes the 4th category. Okay. 4th category is Udiya. Okay, which we understand as Qurbani or, a sacrifice. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. He's a very good Sahabi. He is a remarkable Sahabi, subhanallah, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. But his father, Wail ibn As, was not a Muslim. Okay? And he had made a vow. You know how we do mannat? He had done a vow to slaughter 100 camels if whatever his vow was about. I don't know what the vow was about. Something like we say, I will, give food to 100 people if this work is done for me. Sometimes we can do the mannat is okay to do as long as you should do something that you can do peacefully. Don't make it cumbersome on yourself. Okay. So he said he will slaughter 100 camels. But before he could slaughter 100 camels, the vow came true. Okay, he was given whatever he was vowing for, but he passed away. He was left with Hisham ibn al-As and Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. Okay, Abdullah and Hisham were the 2 sons of Wail ibn As. They came to Rasulullah sallallahu and they said, we heard from you that if my father have given a vow, just now I mentioned it to you, that I have to fast or I have to give udiyah or I have to give charity, then I have to give. So I and Hisham have taken 50-50 each. I have told Hisham to go slaughter 50 camels and I will slaughter 50 camels. Is that okay? Because both of us are sons and we've divided the vow to be fulfilled by both the sons, right? It is an obligation to all the children. Now, because we are just 2 sons, we have decided to make it half-half. Is that going to benefit my father or me? He is asking Rasulullah sallallahu. Okay, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. Rasulullah sallallahu replied, if only your father had accepted Tawheed, then it would have benefited him, your fast, or any of your good deeds. Since you have slaughtered 50, it will benefit you, but not your father. That's how it is. So what's the criteria here? That the person should be Muslim. Okay? If they're not Muslim, then you don't come under that obligation. Just like there is no inheritance from a non-Muslim to Muslim. There are people whose parents are non-Muslim, they become Muslim. There's no inheritance for them because that scene is cut off. That's how it is. So And what are the things? These are the things, again, I'll just go through just the points, the things that are gifts that you give to the deceased is sadaqah, hajj or umrah, fasting if they have left behind, and udiyah if they have said that they would slaughter, then you slaughter on their behalf. Okay. So what are the things you must not do for the deceased? First thing you must not do for the deceased is to recite Yasin, specifically mentioned by the ulama. They have found that lots of people gather and start reciting Yasin. From where did they get this habit? There is no such precedence in the Sunnah with the Sahaba or the Taba Tabi'in. So the ulama reject this practice. The hadith about Yasin is when the person is dying on deathbed and alive and can hear you, recite Quran to him because he is passing away. But he's still alive. He can hear you. Make a lot of recitation of Quran. Okay? And you can recite Yasin, you can recite whatever the deceased wants to hear or whatever can benefit him by hearing Quran. So recite Quran, recite Yasin. This is how it's mentioned, not after his death. People recite Yasin at the graveyards. People are reciting Yasin, collecting together after a death. This is not somewhere mentioned. It becomes a bidah and it becomes a sin. So don't do something which is not supposed to be done. Do what is supposed to be done. Okay? And according to the four madahib, Hanafi is the most generous because they go by the old traditions and they say all good deeds will go to the deceased that the deceased taught you. Okay? So if I'm telling the truth, it will go benefit to my father. If I'm praying, benefit to my father, brother, mother, grandmother, whoever, took part in the effort of me starting to pray and so on. Any good deed for that matter. Okay. So in that they are the ones who mention that if you are going to read Quran, even that sawab will go to the dead and so on. Among the Shafi'i, they, of course, this is a controversial thing, so I'm just going to go through all the Aimma so that it's clear. I'm not talking about any one specific thing. You decide for yourselves what you want to follow, but I'm here to give information, okay? So among the Shafi'i, they believe that nothing benefits the dead except two things. One is sadaqah and one is dua. That's all. Nothing else. So you make dua, give sadaqah, that's all that goes to the dead, which I told you before also. Among the Malikis, of course, they are again the students of Shafi, so they come under the similar thing. They believe that the good deeds are of three types. One is Iman, Tawheed, and Kalima. This cannot be changed, cannot be transferred. I can't say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, please give this sawab to my father. No, this is my kalima. Okay? Secondly, monetary gifts can be given to the deceased, which is sadaqah or sadaqah jariyah, which I already mentioned. They believe that. And any bodily action which you are again obliged to do, like hajj, fasting, anything like that, which is bodily you can do, and then it is acceptable. Hanbalis also believe similar to Hanafis, and they believe that all the good deeds can go to the dead. So they have all differences of opinion, but Fatawa al-Lajna, which is from the Saudi Fatawa Committee, they have declared the dead only receives your dua and sadaqah. The rest is for you. And also to recite Surah Fatiha. Often people say, recently my friend's father passed away just last week. And she wrote in the group, which is my school friend, so in our school group she wrote, my father passed away, please recite Surah Fatiha. How strange. What am I saying in Surah Fatiha? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Okay, everybody knows what it means, that I'm praising Allah, who's the Rabb of the Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin, that you are Rahman and Rahim and you're the Malik, of that Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. I am worshipping you and I am asking you for the right path. What has that got to do with the man who's dead? I don't understand what's the connection. Do you find any connection? Can I pray this for somebody who's passed away, that I'm asking for guidance because I'm worshipping you? So give me the ni'mah which you gave to those who you loved, and don't put me among those who you have destroyed. This is Surah Fatiha. What has that got to do with the second person? Why am I reciting Surah Fatiha for him? Illogical. This is again something concocted. What you have to do is what Rasulullah Sallallahu did. Again, coming back to what I just told you. Dua and astaghfar. Dua for his next journey. Allah, make it easy for him. Make ease for his sawal jawab in the grave. Make ease for his transfer to the barzakh. Make ease for his grave. Illuminate his grave. Make it light for him, the affairs of the grave and the barzakh. The life of barzakh, make it easy for him. Yeah. Give him peace and excuse me. So you are asking dua for his next journey and asking Allah forgive his sins. Allah cleanse him. Ignore his mistakes. Increase his hasanat. Then this is how it is. Astaghfar and dua. This is the only thing. Okay. And among the ulama, among the contemporary ulemas, there is Sheikh Al-Albani. People have heard about him. Okay. He says that if the Quran has to be recited for the deceased, it is only for the children to recite for the parents, because it is mentioned that they will make dua, so only they are obliged to do that, and that also the children should know. Then they don't get the benefit of reading. They've transferred it, so they get nothing but a sawab of doing a good deed to the parents. So if you understand, we like to give, sometimes we go on saying we want to give good deeds to whatever good deeds I do, Allah, please give the benefit to so and so. So what will be I left with? Good deeds are a value. Cash it. Okay. Let's take my good deeds as my bank balance. Okay. Each day I'm taking 10,000 and I'm giving it away for my father, my brother, my grandmother. I've given everything away. And I'm going to Allah with a zero balance. What will happen to me then? We are not supposed to do that. So you should know how much and when to give and what to give. You owe a great deal to people who have left behind, right? Supposing your own parents, you owe them your life. You owe them everything. They brought you to this world. They raised you. They fed you. They clothed you. They did everything for you in their own capacity, whatever they could do for you, right? So we owe them a great deal. Forever we will owe them. So do for them. Make sadaqah jariyah for them so that they keep getting the benefit. Make dua for them every day. Don't miss out the dua for them. Okay? And keep, making sure that you remember to give sadaqah time to time for them. In Ramadan, try to remember giving sadaqah for them. Okay? Make sure that you do, because in Ramadan it's multiplied. Okay? You sadaqah that you give for your parents, even if you're giving, I'm just going to give an example. Even if you're giving 5 dirham, 10 dirham every day, it's not going to make you poor. Every day, put it in an envelope. This is for my mother and father. Okay, 5 dirham for the rest of them. grandparents and whoever you remember or you love, whatever. Okay? Put it in the envelope every day. Don't forget yourself. People forget this. Put 5 dirham for yourself also. This is my sadaqah. You have to give sadaqah for yourself. Otherwise, you'll fall sick. You'll have problems. Give your sadaqah. Don't forget your sadaqah every day in Ramadan, especially. Now that Ramadan is approaching, it's a good reminder for all of us, right? Every day, try to give sadaqah. At least what I do, I'm just trying to tell you so that it helps. I mean, you do it with your own capacity. You want to, if somebody is poor, rich, according to your pocket, you give sadaqah. Okay? You give 5 dirham, 10 dirham, whatever you're giving it for them, don't forget you have to take out separately for you as well. Okay? Give your sadaqah. And what happens after that? What do we do about going to the grave? That's the next question. Okay, now the deceased is buried. We have graves around us. Okay, what is the situation for going to the grave? What are the etiquettes of visiting the grave? Go quietly. Don't make noise. Women should go covered properly, not wearing any jinglings or noisy like bangles or anklets which make noise. Don't wear noisy jewelry. This is what I want to say. So whatever bling bling you want to wear, it should be covered, not shown there. And go with your proper parda, okay? Because remember, you are entering a place where there are dead bodies lying, okay? And when you enter and say Assalamu alaikum ya ahlad daya, they all say wa alaikum salam to you. So they are all realizing your presence there. So you have to be presentable. Don't wail, don't cry loud, and don't start reciting Quran or Qurani ayahs, because this is where all the skeletons are lying. This is not a clean place where you can sit and recite Quran. Lots of people think we are doing a favor to the dead by sitting at the grave and then reciting Quran. You're not supposed to do that. Sit there, do the dua of astaghfar, and quietly remember very soon you will have a place like this also. That's why you are supposed to go there, not for any other reason. Okay? Just remember, if you feel so hard, to see, oh, my father is lying in this mud, in this hole. What will it be for me tomorrow? Just another small spot in this area. Next will be me. Subhanallah. When my aunt, my father's sister, my pupu, when she went to my brother's grave, I have never been because I avoid going to the graveyards. This is something personal because I believe I pray for them every day. I don't have to go into the graveyard to tell them I'm missing them or I want to do. I give them charity, I give them duas. I'm always remembering them. I don't like to see them under that rubble because it hurts me probably more. Anyways, when she went to see my brother's grave, she immediately got a hole done next to his grave because she was so fond of him. So much her own son said, I'm your only son. I would like you to be, leave this to me when you die. She said, no, I'm not going to leave it to you. I want to be next to my nephew. I don't want anybody to take the spot, so I want you to buy it now, dig it for me, keep it ready. When I die, bury me next to my nephew. That was her love for her nephew. And last year when she passed away, her grave was already ready, and she said to me in the last meeting of ours that I'm going to to my brother's name, and I'll be sleeping next to him. That's her, like she was looking forward to that if I die, I'm going to meet my nephew. That was her excitement, subhanallah. And she's buried next to him. So there in the graveyard, the etiquettes are different. Okay, you're meeting the dead, you are supposed to give salam, you're supposed to give them duas. And after giving lots of duas to them, you're supposed to sit silently and think of your death. Think of what they must be going through, that you have to come here and make dua for them. And that's why you must make sincere dua for the dead, sincere namaz-e-janaza, attend it, because if you try to attend sincerely for other people's janaza, Allah will send more people for your janaza. Remember that. You want more people to make dua for you, make yourself available for more people who pass away. Don't shy away from that. You know, if there was a celebrating party here, you would find double the crowd in this house. Because it's a funeral and others, you'll find less crowd in this house. Okay? But they don't know that is temporary. This is going to be sadaqah jariyah. This is going to benefit them, dunya and akhirah. And this is where people actually miss out. We need to attend to these things more sincerely, then you'll have more people to pray for you. You bring people to pray for somebody, somebody will bring people to pray for you. Subhanallah, you have no idea that only the death and after death tells about how your life was, not your life itself. Only after your death is upon the life you led. That's the beginning of your other life. And that decides and defines how you have lived. Subhanallah. So this is all that I needed to part with you as a knowledge and information, and also to explain to you that again I will mention that please do not distribute, juice, and say everybody reads and makes it as one Quran. This is not a practice of the Sahaba or the Tabata'in. No, it was ever done by the Rasulullah Sallallahu or any of them before us. We should not do innovation, and according to Fatawa al-Lajna of Saudi Arabia's Fatawa Committee, they call it a bidah. Whether it's reciting Yasin in a gathering or doing this kind of Quran recital after the death of somebody is called bidah according to them. I've just mentioned according to where, so it's according to them. So we have to be careful. Do what you think you're best at. If I read Quran, I would not like all my effort of Quran reading. I've taken a lot of efforts to finish my Quran, and I say I'm giving it to my father. Then what about my brother? Again, I have to do the Quran, give it to my brother. And I'm just going on, and if I die in between, what about my own? This Quran reading, I've been giving it to here and there. It didn't get, written in my account. It was written in their account because I said so. So I rather read my own Quran, okay, and make dua for them, okay? Because their efforts they've done in their life. This is my time also to prepare for mine. I cannot miss out this time. I know I'm also going to die any day. So I have to collect for me as well. We have to be selfish where it comes to deen, okay? We need to get more of ajr, right? We all need more of ajr because we need this more. No matter how much money I have, I cannot buy ajr from anybody. So let me spend it for gaining ajr. So I don't mind feeding the poor. I don't mind sending water, juice to the masajids. I don't mind treating the sick people or getting somebody's operation done, getting somebody to help them out. Let me do ajr like this, and I'll read the Quran for myself, and I'll make a lot of, because any good deed you finish, like today is a good deed we are doing, all of us. You're listening to the dhikr of Allah, and I'm making the dhikr of Allah. Both of us are doing a very good deed, very, what shall I say, something which Allah loves. The most among our deeds is the dhikr of Allah. Among all the deeds in the world, the best of the deeds in the eyes of Allah is the dhikr of Allah, which we are doing right now. You are all party to it because you're all listening. I'm saying we are all in the same boat. So when we are doing such a good deed which is pleasing to Allah, we will make dua after it. Okay? And that dua and that everything that we do after that is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it, because such gatherings are always covered by the angels who actually flap their wings and come and cover us. Because when they hear anybody doing dhikr of Allah, especially if somebody is reciting Quran, they come quickly to listen to the Quran because they can't read Quran. They don't recite Quran. The angels don't recite Quran. It's only for the human beings that they recite Quran. So they come running to listen to the Quran. They always look for anybody reading Quran, they will go for them because they can't recite it. They can only hear it. Subhanallah. So Allah has given us that one up. We can recite. So that's what we should do. Recite it, and then if you want to give it the blessing and ajr to anybody, it's okay. It's between you and Allah, and it's between you and the dead person. Okay, that's between you and Allah, the deed. But remember, then it's not counted for you the moment you do it for somebody else. Okay, then you can do it again for yourself. Same way, if you read your own Quran, then you can send the Quran to somebody. If you've done your own Umrah, then you can do the Umrah for somebody. If you've done your own Hajj, you can do the Hajj for somebody. When you've kept your own misfasting, only then you can keep the misfasting of the dead. Clear? So, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this gathering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our attending here, your listening and my speaking. Everything good and right that I spoke here is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. And in return, give the khair of dunya and akhirah to us and keep us away from the shar of dunya and akhirah. If there was any mistake, it's either my weakness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me better knowledge and capabilities to perform His dhikr in a better way. And if it is the fitna of shaitan, then may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us away from all the fitnas of shaitan and shar and make us acceptable, our deeds pleasing to Him and acceptable to Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the sins of the two sisters who we have gathered here for. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a high place in Jannat al-Firdaus. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we request you, we plead you to give them illuminating graves. Allah give them spacious graves. Allah give them good time in the barzakh, peaceful residence of the qabr. Allah give them the companions of angels to be with them. Allah, please accept our du'as for them. Ya Rabbul Alameen, accept our du'as for them. Allah, give them maghfirah for every sin, mistake, wrong deed, anything unpleasant, anything that you were not pleased with. Allah, forgive them. Allah, please forgive them. Allah, forgive their sins and cleanse them like you would clean the way the snow falls and the way the white sheets are. Allah, keep them spotless. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our du'as for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us prepare for our deaths. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a good end, give us a easy death. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us an illuminating grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a spacious grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a life peaceful in barzakh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the companions of the angels. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our children righteous so that they make dua for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our deeds, our hasanat, and forgive our sins. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبارك وسلم عليه. جزاکم اللہ خیر. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.